All right, hi everybody. It is 2 a.m. early on this Saturday morning, the final day of January, as we are tracking, as you can see on the radar, more snow showers moving in. We had an update around midnight, and many folks were asking, where'd the snow go? I was like, don't worry, there's more snow showers coming in, and this won't be the final batch either. As that cold air comes in, temperatures will drop, and so will some snow showers. This is still the light variety. It's light snow showers going on, but again, this is what we're going to see off and on through the overnight hours and into the pre-dawn hours. So you can see where it's a little bit blue, purple, right through the Sequatchie Valley there, a little bit better. And I've been watching the TDOT cameras near Mount Eagle, and I'll show you those in a minute. Things are moving along just fine there, so that's a good thing. But watch out again as temperatures fall and down into the 20s. And any bit of precipitation that reaches the surface could freeze, especially on untreated roadways. So we need to really watch that throughout the nighttime hours. But let me show you the TDOT SmartWay camera real quickly. There we go. And that's in the area right there, which you can see some of the snow, those snow shower bands have gone through. But you notice the medians, not too much accumulation there. Traffic moving along, seems to be at normal speed. They do treat the roads quite well there on I-24, but it kind of gives you an idea what's happening there. So there, yeah, there's some flakes coming down, but not too problematic. That's a good thing. All right, we'll go back to the radar view. Let me make myself smaller. We don't want to see a lot of me. We want to see more of the radar. There we go. So anyway, that's what we're going to be seeing for the next few hours. These snow showers continuing across the viewing area and temperatures starting to drop. So thanks for those of you who are watching tonight, staying up late. If you're like me when I was a kid, anytime there'd be snow happening, I'd stay up to all hours of the night and look out the window toward the spotlight that we had on the side of the house to look for flakes falling down. How many of you do the same thing? Yeah. It's always fun. And that's what I'm kind of doing now, looking at some of the cameras around the area. But let's take a look. Let me back up just a little bit. So we're going to focus more on these snow showers ongoing. In fact, I looked out our window a second ago. It's not showing up on radar yet, but there's a lot of flurries around the city. But there's going to be more of those coming in. Whitwell, Jasper, Dunlap. I always get a lot of photos and videos from Fredonia Mountain here in Sequatchie County. So I'm sure you folks there are getting some snow showers too. Even up towards Fall Creek Falls, the Crossville, getting this band of snow showers coming in. So go ahead and let me see your comments. Let us know where you are, and we'll be answering some of your questions as we move along. So again, not much has changed overall to the thinking through the overnight hours. Again, we're just after 2 a.m. on this early Saturday morning, 1 a.m. Central Time, of course. So snow showers and getting windy through the night. I mentioned the term blowing snow. There's going to be some of that. We don't see it that often, but I think for areas especially east and the longer duration, the deeper we get into the overnight hours on towards sunrise, that's when the coverage increases a bit. So a lot of areas, there's nothing happening. And there's some going on west of the city moving in, but gradually everybody will start seeing more and more deeper into the night and on towards sunrise. And that first half of the day, Saturday, is really when you'll see a lot of it, especially east of the city. I've seen questions for Chatsworth, and you'll start seeing it then. In fact, 2 questions from Chatsworth. So I think for Chatsworth, you'll start seeing that deeper into the night, on towards sunrise. But again, speaking of Chatsworth and areas east of the city, you're going to run the higher totals. So less west, more to the east. I mentioned the wind gusts. They're going to start picking up deep into the night, pushing down those wind chills. So it's not that windy yet, and it will get windier through the nighttime hours. Let's check the 2 a.m. temperatures, and everybody's below freezing. Rome's the only holdout, 36. Everybody else below freezing. So again, regardless if you get a trace of snow or you get 2 inches of snow, it has the same impact on the roads. It can make it very slippery. And with temperatures like this, it will not improve. So you need to be very, very careful traveling tonight on untreated roadways. Here's the current wind chill And these are just falling. It's not going to get any better throughout the day. Feels like 6 above in Crossville. Feels like the teens elsewhere. And that rate is going to continue falling through the rest of the morning hours. And it drops off pretty rapidly. 6 to 8 a.m., you start noticing a quick drop, both in temperature and the wind chill. So even on into the afternoon, temperatures will fluctuate low to mid-20s with the wind chill in the single digits. Some areas will be down below zero with that wind chill. And then checking temperatures upstream, you can see this is as of 2 a.m. Eastern, 20 Nashville, Jackson, Memphis, over 10 degrees colder than us, and all that cold air is just spilling in. Now, as area low pressure strengthens to the east, it's going to pull down more of that cold air and some more of that moisture. So again, we'll still have some snow shower activity. Winter weather advisory out. Most areas locally. The only areas not under an advisory are, for example, Marion, Grundy, Franklin, DeKalb, Jackson. It doesn't mean it's not going to snow. Basically, these advisories and warnings farther east are just impact areas. So, for example, this is where the more accumulation could occur, is in the purple shaded counties, and you got the winter storm warning. Basically, this includes Murray, but really if you draw a line 411 and east, that's where the winter storm warnings are. That's where the higher amounts are. Of course, that's where the higher mountains are. You got Fort Mountain here, Big Frog over here, Grassy Mountain, Chilhowie, and then farther east into these mountain communities as well. That's where your higher snow totals will be throughout the day, Saturday, and into Saturday night. So again, here's that next band we're watching. We had one band roll by Friday evening. Then it's been quiet. Now flurries are picking up, and now we're getting a nice snow band here. Moderate snow showers from about the plateau and east, so it's covering Grundy, Franklin, Marion. Again, not under advisory, but it's snowing. So again, everybody locally has a chance of seeing snow, and everybody has a chance of seeing at least a little bit of accumulation. It's just going to be more in some areas opposed to others. And what we're going to start seeing more is the bands here pulling down to the south. And I'll show you that coming up momentarily. But this represents the back edge of the cold air coming in that's kind of rotating in, okay? And as that starts to happen, the bands will start forming north-south and pushing down. So we're starting to see that low get stronger off to the east, and more of the snow bands will start showing up. So it's been a little quiet the past few hours, and people who love snow are getting a little anxious. I get that. That's why we're here tracking it and showing you what's going on out there. But again, you can start seeing that, see that rotating motion, rotating a bit, and the low is, back over this way. So you're starting to see that movement now, curling around like that. So the bands will start going more north-south as the night goes on. There you can see South Pittsburgh, some pretty decent snow showers going on. I'll go back to the SmartWay cameras in a second. Across Franklin County, Suwannee, Mount Eagle, Tracy City, Palmer, Altamont, all seeing some mainly light snow showers. You can see where it's kind of banding a bit there, right across the whole Sequatchie Valley, Whitwell up to Dunlap, up to Pikeville, up to Crossville, and now some of those flurries coming up and over Dayton Mountain into Dayton, just bordering Meigs County toward Decatur, Sale Creek, Soddy. So we're about to get a good amount of flurry and light snow showers coming right back in. Now farther north, look at that deep blue. I mean, it's been snowing a lot. I've seen some photos from Sevierville and Pigeon Forge, and right there on the main highway. I mean, it's just piling up several inches already. I think Metro Knoxville's in that 2 to 4 inch range, and then higher into the Smoky Mountains. And the higher peaks there, 6 inches to about a foot. So that's where that deeper snow banding will occur. But there you can start to see what I'm talking about, how that you're starting to see that kind of now move in this general direction. like that. It's pulling around the area of low pressure and sliding back to the west a bit, and it'll start setting up these stronger bands to the east. So there you have it. There's the low right here. It's absorbed. This is absorbing this, and what we call bomb out, where the pressure rapidly deepens quite a bit and starts to pull down more of those snow showers. We're going to be in Chattanooga and west, right on the edge, in the areas east of Chattanooga having a bit more of the snow showers, and all the while pulling down the extremely cold air. So looking at our future track, it's not accounting for the band coming over us now. So you've got that on top of that, but it shows you that there's going to be expansion, 3 to 5:30, an expansion of that swath going north-south. So, over the next few hours, you get closer to sunrise, that band expands a bit. But rather quickly, say 8 a.m. to noon, well, it starts to kind of retreat, kind of move away to the east. So for areas east of I-75, it lasts a little while longer, okay, while it pushes east. And then deeper into the afternoon, the heavier snow showers kind of wind on down, but it'll continue at the higher terrain here and across the Cherry Halo Smoky Mountains. And I still believe the plateau will have a prolonged period of flurries and light snow showers off and on all the way through Saturday night. It won't add a tremendous amount, but I've got these areas in that 1 to 2 inch range because of the duration. It'll last a little bit longer. First some bursts, and then gradually light snow showers, flurries just continuing as those pockets continue. But even into Saturday night, this is, those pockets still showing up on the plateau, heavier amounts here along the Tennessee, North Carolina border. Finally getting all those flurries out of here early Sunday. But by then, look at these temperatures, just awfully cold. That's not the wind chill, that's the actual temperature. And barely above freezing Sunday afternoon. Now, the wind gusts will start picking up as well. This is the snow amounts. I don't think this has really changed all that much. I think in the valley, you're kind of in that trace to an inch, isolated spots up to 2. So kind of a trace to 2. But I've got those levels because it's going to vary quite a bit. The farther southwest you go, the amounts are lighter. Farther west you go, even lighter. Once you go north, the plateau I've got in the 1 to 2 because of that length of time. It may last a little longer, that northerly flow. It's not going to be everywhere. Typically, that happens in pockets, okay? Northern Valley here, parts of Meigs and the McMinn, kind of in that 1 to 3. You might hit the low end of the zone, but up to 3 possible. But if you go right along 75, you go Dalton, Cleveland, Athens, east. I think this area east is in that 1 to 3 inch zone. So parts of Bradley, parts of Whitfield, parts of Murray or Chatsworth. Some of you may be in that 1 to 2, but the farther east you go, you get into that upper part of the category up to 3. And then, of course, in the Blue Ridge Mountains, Fanning, Gilmer, Cherokee Clay, 3 to 5. It'll depend upon elevation. Some of the valley pockets will get more. Smoky Mountains, half a foot to a foot of snow. That's a lot of snow. Now, the wind's going to really start picking up. It's not too windy yet, but it is going to get real strong later this morning toward midday, 30, 35. So I mentioned the term blowing snow. Yeah, some of the snow is going to be accompanied by a lot of wind. So very reduced visibilities, and then the wind speeds will come down by Sunday morning. So there's that bitter cold wind chill below 0 in many spots, single digits for others. That's after sunrise this morning. Excuse me. Late afternoon does not improve. Sunday morning still just awful in those areas. So let's go back to the radar view. Find it there. You see that snow band coming in. Let's see. Check some of your comments here. Let's see. Brad says Decatur already got about ½ inch. That sounds about right. Kimberly says coming down in Cleveland. Shelley, not much in Rossville yet at the moment. Hello, Dana, watching from Dalton. Angela and Tina both waiting for it in Chatsworth. I got you. Let's see. Marty says it's snowing in Decatur and the road's icy. Yep. I mean, all temperatures are below freezing, so it doesn't take much. As I said, a trace of snow to 2 inches of snow is going to have the same effect on the roads. Just not good. Not good at all. Janie, yes, this is pipe bursting type of cold coming up. You should let that water drip, especially during the day tomorrow night, and through early Sunday morning. Hello, Sonny, watching from Calhoun. Let's take you back to that T-Dot SmartWay camera. This is Mount Eagle area. So as you can see, the snow bands are coming through there. Just mainly light snow coming through. So you can see on the SmartWay camera, traffic seems to be moving along. I don't see a lot of white on the roadways there. A little bit on the side of the road. But traffic still seems to be moving. These are trucks entering on the entrance ramp, so not at full speed yet. There's some full speed, and they seem to be moving along at the pace. You can see some reflection off the road, so it is making the roadway wet. If it's been treated, that's helping, but the traffic still seems to be moving along. And we'll go back to the radar view. Let me take a look at a few other cameras I'll share with you. We'll go look up toward the Knoxville area. Let's see here. Let's see what we've got here. Let's take a look at Knoxville. All right, this is in Knoxville. So you can see there traffic's moving, but look at all the snow on the side of the road. And reduced lanes. Again, this is the Knoxville on I-40. So they're seeing quite a bit more than we are. They're overall probably going to get around 2 to 4 inches there. But again, that gives you a look at what it's like in Knoxville right now. Let's take a look at another camera. I'm trying to see if there's any others closer to. I don't think they got the cameras that go down 441. No, you have to go to other cameras. We're going to work our way northward a bit on 81. This is 81 at I-40 interchange. Oh, you can't see anything there. Camera looks like it's too far focused in. So yeah, so those other cameras didn't show too much, but anyway, you can kind of see what's going on north of us, indeed. But as you can see, again, we've got we're 218 on this Saturday morning, and more of these snow showers coming in. So you got some light snow, Stevenson, South Pittsburgh, Whitwell, up to Dunlap, all moving in. Chattanooga now getting some of the snow showers. Let's see if I can pull up our SmartWay cameras here. I'll share some of those with you. You really can't tell too much on those cameras there. So yeah, we got the flakes coming down here outside our studios. Got it, Red Bank, Signal Mountain, Walden, Soddy, Mowbray, all getting some snow right now. Michael says snowing real good south of Dalton. Yeah, and again, even though it doesn't show on the radar, there's snow out there. A lot of times when it's really like it's picking up a lot of reflectivity west, it may not show what's happening south. So the radar doesn't show everything. So I appreciate those. Let me know what's going on out there, because it helps us see what we're seeing electronically from what we're really seeing on the ground. Gabrielle's, it's safe on I-75. Well, at the moment, traffic seems to be moving on I-75, but as always, use caution when driving. Conditions can change through the night, so I urge caution and just be very, very careful. Joycelyn, yes, don't forget your pets, folks. When it's this cold, bring them inside. I can't stress that enough. So this is the next round of snow showers coming in. We've had a several hours gap between the first round we had between 7 and 10 o'clock during the evening hours. Now we're getting more coming in. Now temperatures are colder. Where that first round came by, we still had 33, 34, and it wasn't sticking too much. And now everything that falls can stick because it's all cold. And that's our big worry, is about even just light snow can have big impacts. You can see Saudi, Sail Creek, all really up and down 27. Getting snow showers. Then it's amazing how you go north of I-40 and it all just changes. It's all just even heavier. And that's where the heavier amounts will be. And eventually you folks in McMinn, Monroe, Bradley, Polk, there's nothing yet, but you're going to have longer duration of snow showers once this sets up later this morning and through especially the first half of the daylight hours through about lunchtime. Wow. Hello, John, watching from Hawaii. Wish I was there right now. You can see what you're missing if you're from here. So consider yourself very fortunate to be nice and warm in Hawaii there. Thanks for watching. Hannah, yes, Chatsworth will see some snow. You'll get some snow showers from this within the hour, if you're not seeing it already. And then, of course, more snow showers later this morning and in especially the first half of the day. Marcia, same thing. I do think Calhoun will see some snow showers too, yes. Eventually. I want to check our cameras over here. I can't see out a window this way. They've changed the hallway. Let me look at our cameras here. Yeah, it's coming down here outside our studios, so just real lightly though, just real light snow. Not too bad. But I've got the sensitivity, the reflectivity turned way up so we can see these snow showers, because a lot of times light snow is hard to pick up on radar. It's so light, the reflectivity is awful. So the beam is scanning, it's just sometimes it'll miss it. But we're starting to see where it's picking up a bit more, where it's coming down, the wind-driven bands there. And that's what's going to happen. The north-south flow of those bands, you're going to get some bursts where you can pick up a good half inch, but on either side of that band, nothing. That's how scattered a lot of these accumulation rates are going to be with this. It's not uniform over the entire area. It's just going to be different. So it's kind of hard to pinpoint the exact total. That's why we have these ranges. It's not like we're not trying to wiggle room out of a forecast or anything. No, it's just that's why even the National Weather Service puts in ranges, because the way this is set up is going to be, some will hit the low end, some will hit the high end of those 1 to 3 inch range or trace to 1 inch range. That's the way it's going to be. But there are going to be these pockets that line up where some areas that could overachieve on that, some accumulation. You just have to watch it unfold here. Hannah, I think Chatsworth is in that 1 to 2 inch possibility. On the high end, it could hit near 3, but I think it's in the 1 to 2. 1 to 2, kind of like Dalton is. But the farther east you go and longer duration, you could hit the higher end of that range. But that's the way it kind of looks right now. And here are the temperatures out there. This is as a 225 in the morning, Eastern time. Teens, upper 20s, everybody below freezing. Again, Rome's the only holdout, but that won't last long. And this is the worry. With temperatures already below freezing, just a wee little bit of snow is going to make a difference. That's why this snow is a bit different, because of snow showers, visibility dropping because it's going to be windy, blowing snow in some cases, and slippery travel conditions. Again, less west, more east as far as the totals. Those wind gusts are really going to start picking up. We're using those dangerous wind chills. So check on each other, check your families and neighbors, make sure they are staying warm. Bring your pets inside, and yes, wrap those pipes, leave that drip. This is the type of pipe bursting weather coming in. The next round of Arctic air moves in overnight through the rest of the day today. I keep wanting to say tomorrow, but it's today now. And that Arctic air, it's the second week in a row of this, and it's going to be bitterly cold all throughout the day. Again, there are the temperatures. There's the wind chill. This is going to become more and more of a factor as we go through the day. And this is how those levels will change. Into the low 20s. This is the wind chill. Teens down to the single digits towards sunrise and just after that point. And temperatures getting colder north and west. So things are only going to be dropping. There again, some winter weather advisories in effect and winter storm warnings. Even if your county west of the city not under advisory, it doesn't mean you won't see snow. Everybody's going to see snow showers. Some just longer than others. And the reason why, the more you trend east, the advisories and warnings start getting a little bit higher, a higher level of need to be updated. Yes, Joycelyn, I agree. I'm ready for summer. I've been ready for summer since the first day of winter, put it that way. I'm a summer person. But I like snow too. I mean, if since snow, I like to see it come down. I'll take a day or two, then I'm ready for summer. That's just me, though. When I was younger, I loved snow days. Get out of school. Now I just get cold. Just part of being old. All right, let's take a look at it. Many of you have seen these flurries coming down. And again, some good pockets of more moderate snow showers coming down. Signal, Whitwell, Jasper, South Pitt, Swanee, Tracy City, Dunlap, Sail Creek, up all up and down 127, all up and down Highway 27, and really up and down 58. Just about to reach that I-75 corridor. Right along I-40, Crossville over to Rockwood. And then once you go from Oak Ridge east, it just really picks up. It's amazing how it just dramatically picks up. Jody, yes, Murphy, North Carolina will be getting some snow. I really believe that. I think you're in that 1 to 3 inch range in Murphy. Surrounding Murphy, some of the towns and communities that are closer to the higher peaks, and sometimes the lift over the mountains drops more into the valley there in Cherokee County. So some areas may get a little bit more, but I do believe you're in that range. You're getting at least 1 to 3. You're at least in that range, possibly on the high end if it lasts a little bit longer. But most of the day, Saturday, it looks pretty snowy there in Murphy and most of Cherokee County. And yeah, folks, these bands coming in are light snow showers, but within the 20s, every little bit sticks. It will not take long for your car hood, decks, grassy areas to start getting white, even the roads that are untreated. white. Amber says starting to flurry in Red Bank. Watch also how we're seeing this band. Watch right here. See the banding right here starting to push to the south? See, this is all part of that circulation around that low. It's all starting to swing around this way. So this will all start swinging down and like this. So you're starting to see that push, starting to see that whole push now of snow showers. That's why we've been anticipating that the deeper we get in the night, 3, 4, 5 a.m., the coverage picks up. Be aware of reduced visibilities with the snow coming down also. Stacy says, spitting snow out there in East Brainerd. All right. Joni says a dusting in Cleveland. Yep. So a lot of people are up late. Up late watching it snow. There you can see Stevenson, Trenton, Tiftonia, Raccoon, Elder Mountain, Signal, Lookout, Mowbray, up to Walden, Sequatchie County on the plateau above Dunlap. I had a viewer mention Luminary. Luminary getting some snow showers there. Moving through Tracy City, Mud Eagle, Swanee. Check another one of the camps here. Let's see, we'll come back. Down 24. I haven't seen too many problems on 24. That's a good thing. Well, that stream's not available. That's not good. Can't see much on that camera. I'm scanning some T-Dot cameras here to show you. Let's see if... it doesn't show much. Yeah, I'll show this one. There we go. This is going down Mud Eagle westbound. So you've got eastbound on the right, going just about to reach the top, westbound on the left. I've been watching that camera. That truck has had its hazards on at that exit ramp for about 30 minutes. But you notice traffic is moving, even these bands of snow showers coming by. You see some reflection on the road. So again, it looks like the roads have been treated and they put some melting agent down. So traffic's moving along just fine on 24. That's good. And not too much accumulating on the side of the road there, just a little bit. So it's not heavy accumulating, but it doesn't take much when it's like this to have a lot. All right, Michaela says starting to snow in Athens. Shannon says flurries in Middle Valley. And Haley says starting to lay on the roads in southeast Cleveland. Yep. Again, folks, with temperatures this cold, every little bit that falls accumulates. You know, usually when we get the snow, it's, you know, it melts first and it gradually starts building up. Not in this case. It's just cold. So it's going to make travel slick quick. Like I said, a trace of snow and 2 inches of snow is not going to have much difference with traffic. It's all going to make it slick. Cade says snowing on Mowbray. Yep. You can see that right there on the radar. Right there. So good old snow shower coming down. And there's those bands starting to push farther south into Monroe County. So it's all start to kind of fill in the radar there a bit. Even some of that extending down into Jackson County. Right down Highway 72, Stevenson, South Pittsburgh, right along the Jackson DeKalb County line. Matches the earlier band we had early on. And you can see this is where the high top radar is, right there in northern Jackson. Here's Franklin County. Got the snow showers of Suwannee, down in Mount Eagle, although it is kind of trending away, sharply ending just west of the plateau. We've been watching this kind of move in from the west over the past hour pretty quickly. Crossville getting the light snow. Spring City, 10-mile Decatur, just now reaching Athens. Probably already reached Athens. As I mentioned, a lot of times the flurries are too light to be detected by radar and doesn't reflect well, and the heavier bands reflect a little better. Again, if you look at this just as a whole, with that area of low pressure down here starting to strengthen, it's starting to do this. It's starting to pull this band down like that and pushing that way. So it's kind of curling, pushing. Okay, that's what we're seeing. Stacy says the snowflakes coming out a little harder in East Brainerd. Yep. Accumulating on the road in Harrison. It just gives you a better view. Just over the past few hours, the overall movement, that slight turn, as that area low pressure strengthens a bit. It's fun and interesting to watch this evolve, It's one thing to watch it on computer models throughout the week, and then to actually watch it evolve is fascinating. Jay says steady in Middle Valley. I'll check a few other cameras here. Let me check. Let's see. Crossville. Let's check that. Is there one in Crossville on 40? Kind of. Yeah, here we go. So this is on I-40 east of Crossville near Crab Orchard. And you can see amounts of snow on the road there. You can see some headlights coming. So traffic is moving on I-40, but ooh, look at those lanes. It's been treated. Looks like it's down to one lane though, but you can hit a patch of ice pretty quickly. So slow going there, traffic going in both directions on I-40. So travel's still going, but the temperature's cold and more precip coming down. As you can see, it's kind of down to one lane there. That again, that's east of Crossville, near Crab Orchard on I-40. what we're seeing happening is this low pulling into this low. It's going to make it deeper, and it's going to pull this trough over. So everything starts swinging our way, spreading more snow showers our way. So again, through the overnight hours, you're going to see an expansion again of more of these snow showers. This is approximately 5:45 to 8. So, right around sunrise, a larger part of the area will be covered by these snow showers. For areas along and east of I-75, it's going to last longer. The reason why the accumulation amounts can be a little bit higher in those areas in that 1 to 2, 1 to 3 inch range and higher from Chatsworth eastward to Ellijay, Blue Ridge, Murphy. And again, I think flurries and snow showers will hold on even Saturday night, especially the plateau. Anytime you get that northerly flow, you tend to get pockets of where the flurry snow showers stick around. Same thing for the Cherahela area. For it all finally just ends by Sunday morning. So there's still going to be pockets of flurries. You'll still be like later on tonight, Saturday night, going, still more flurries coming down. But by that time, it's not really adding to accumulation. It's just making it feel colder. These are the air temperatures Sunday morning. Single digits of teens, and for some, getting above freezing Sunday, for others, not. And again, I'm going to go back to that. Anyway, wind gusts are going to start picking up. They're going to be stronger as the morning goes on. See, where we are now, it's not too bad. From 5 a.m. to about midday, it goes up to over 30 miles an hour. So there's going to be blowing snow in some areas where the snow's still coming down first half of the day Saturday. And those wind chill values by later this morning and late day not improving at all. So let's see. Lily watching from Dalton. Hello, Lily. Sandy and Somerville. I think Somerville will get some snow showers. I don't think the accumulations will be a lot, but as I mentioned, just enough to make things slick. But I think you will see at least some flakes there in Somerville for sure. Middle Valley, Hickson, as far as amounts, we're kind of in that up to an inch. But if you get a little burst, you could get up to 2. But we're kind of in that trace to an inch category there, that part of Hamilton. But, some isolated pockets could be up to 2. Jordan says light snow in Murray County near North Murray High. Okay. Michaela, I think Riceville is in that 1 to 2 on the high end, up to 3. But I think you could see that in that part of McMinn County. It's possible. You're right along 75 and east, which could be in that 1 to 3 zone. So some people may be more in the low end of that range, others high, but it's very possible. Same thing in Cleveland, kind of the same way. An inch or 2 is possible. If you get a burst longer, you could be into the higher end of that 1 to 3 inch swath. Again, most of downtown getting some snow showers. Let me check some of the cameras downtown, see if it's showing up any better. And I'll pull these up on the live feed here. Now I'm gonna go to a different camera here. So that's in Dalton. So we can't really see too much going on there. Let's scroll up here. And this is downtown. You can see some snowflakes in the view there. Traffic moving along the road's okay. Not much in the way of accumulation there, but so downtown seeing at least a little bit. See traffic moving by just a little bit there. So there you go. Julie says it's snowing in Lookout Valley. It sure is. You can see it. Well, right there. Lookout Valley, Tiftonia area. Shannon says Athens, Tennessee, snow coming down. Still, and you're gonna get more. Gonna get more there in Athens. Lori says snowing at Ottawa. Let's take a look. You can see Red Bank, Soddy Daisy getting some pretty good snow showers coming down. On Signal, up to Soddy. Same thing toward Dade County, crossing into Jackson County. There we go. Most of Hamilton County getting snow showers. Over to Ottawa, Cleveland, Calhoun. Where that's starting to build in. And this is as expected. You know, we're approaching 3 a.m. and that was when that time, 3 a.m. and on, when the coverage would start picking up. And you know, we're starting to see that happening. Again, concerns are with temperatures this cold, anything that falls will stick and that cause some travel issues. So very, very concerned about that. Cleveland, you may be getting more than this. Again, the radar is not going to show every flake because they don't reflect too well. So I'm really depending on you guys tell me what you see there. You may say, hey, wait a minute, I live in Etowah and I'm getting snow and you don't have it on your radar. That can happen. Ringgold, probably getting some flurries. Same thing, Chickamauga, Fort Oglethorpe. Lafayette, someone just asked, will Lafayette get some snow? You're about to see some snow showers pretty shortly there in Lafayette. Sean, yes, I think Dalton will. I think Dalton's going to get some snow showers off this during the 3 o'clock hour. But I also think there'll be additional snow showers later in the morning in the first half of the daylight hours Saturday, which could give you an inch or two. It's very possible, very possible. I mean, so we got this Antarctic air coming in. It's like the North Pole just opened up. And there are the temperatures currently. They're dropping. That's not a wind chill in Pikeville and Crossville. That's your temperature into the teens, 20s elsewhere. And Rome, that only updates every hour. That's at the Russell Airport. So that will probably it's probably already fallen below 36. That was what it was at the top of the hour at 2 a.m. By the time you get to 3 a.m., it'll probably dramatically have dropped off. Some of these others will update about every 5 minutes. Someone asked about Lafayette. I think there's a sensor issue at Lafayette Airport. So for some reason, it's not transmitting. That's why we're not receiving it. So Here's the current wind chill, single digits and teens. And that's how far that wind chill is going to drop, and temperature is going to drop throughout the morning. Hey, Sean, happy birthday. That's awesome. Well, you may get some snow for your birthday. That's awesome. Happy birthday. Chanel says snowing in downtown Chattanooga. Can confirm based on radar view and what you're telling me. For sure. Jacqueline says it's snowing at Ocoee. Norman, hang in there in Toccoa. I think you'll eventually get some snow showers, especially later this morning and really most of the day Saturday, daylight hours. Kim, I think Chickamauga could get up to an inch, depending on how long the snow showers last, but a ground covering or at least up to an inch. I've kind of got that in that trace to an inch category. There'll be some isolated spots. If you get a little burst up to 2 inch spots, but I think up to an inch is possible. It's possible there in Chickamauga. And when you look at the radar, you can kind of see what I mean. When you see these other individual bursts and how they go north-south, I mean, I'll point one out. Look at these. See how these little streaks are? You can go on either side of those streaks, and there's not much. But you go within the streak where it goes north-south, and there's a lot. So it's amazing how that can set up. You could drive around afterward and go from an area that just has maybe an inch, and all of a sudden, wow, where did that come from? For a little narrow stripe. And that's how these bands set up. It makes it tricky when trying to make an accumulation forecast. That's why we have to put it in a range, 1 to 2, 1 to 3, where it can be in that range, within that range anywhere because of the way the band's set up. So the Bennett's say exit 20 in Cleveland already covered. It's already covered the road. Yeah, I'm sure it is. See, anything that's falling right now is going to cover the road, an untreated road, that is. We've been showing you the TDOT SmartWay cameras where they've been treating the roads. They're okay. Where it's not been treated, that's going to be a problem. And it won't get any better because temperatures are dropping, snowflakes are dropping, and this is not going to improve. So I'm really concerned about that. Very concerned about travel. Again, the light white is just real light snow. The more moderate downpours of snow coming down are in the blue and purple, and they're lining up with the upper level winds going north-south. So South Pitt, and then you come over here to Lookout Valley, Signal Mountain, Whitwell for a period, Soddy Daisy. Getting a good snow shower right now. So anything it's Hale Creek. It'll make your yard white pretty quickly because every flake accumulates. Decatur, Dayton, Spring City, 10 Mile, Pikeville up to Crossville, all getting these snow showers. Okay. Then don't watch. I'll never understand some comments, people. You're just jumping on to have a little fun. Okay, we're here trying to help people. Okay? Not doing this for fun. See those bands starting to work their way to the south a bit. These bands kind of coming in this way. You're starting to see more of that pulling in, though, with that low. Like that, the upper level flow. You can see more of that pulling into Monroe County and McMinn County. Both these areas getting pretty much covered up now. So radar's filling in. Amanda says salt trucks on Keith Street in Cleveland. That's good. They're doing that. That's good. Good. Yeah, hey, Blake, I've seen the cameras, some of the cameras from Pigeon Forge. It's amazing. They've had quite a bit through there. Traffic not good. So yeah. We'll find one of the other SmartWay cameras here from closer to home on 24. They had one here, but it just doesn't seem to be streaming. All right, let's check this one. All right, this is I-24 Cummings Highway. So you see that part, I-24, everything's moving. It's a little white there on the edges. So these snow showers coming down are getting some snow on the side of the road. So, but traffic seems to be moving on I-24. So again, these treated surfaces are okay. It's the secondary roads that are untreated, they're going to be a problem. And as precip continues to come down, then it's going to make it a bit slicker. So again, that's I-24 Cummings Highway. As you kind of go around Lookout Mountain there. All right. I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna go look at our cameras here outside the studio, see if it's changed any from the last 15 minutes. Let me see. Yeah, it's pretty light. It's pretty light outside our studios. There's more of the light snow coming in. Some light snow. So we're seeing light to moderate snow showers coming down around. It's and watch it sinking south. So you got Dade, Walker, large part of Lookout. You know, Lookout's right here. Pigeon Mountain's right here. So a lot of the spine of Lookout seeing more and more snow showers coming in. It's real light though, but like I said, every flake accumulates. You know, so it's gonna be a little bit of a mess. If you expand the view, you can kind of see what's going on. Again, that low getting deeper off to the east and then wrapping back around. Thank you, Kimberly. Appreciate that. Kind note. Stay safe there and warm there in Cisco for sure. Hey, Brandon. No. I'd rather be tracking snow any day over tornadoes. For sure. Michael, I don't know about that, but the loud booms, I'm not sure. Now, we've had some what's known as frost quakes. You get that when the ground's frozen and there's water and it pops. You hear those loud booms. There's been some of that, but I don't know if we'd have any of that lately. We'd have had some of that more early in the week where some of that booming would happen. I'm not sure what tonight those booms are. But let's keep an ear out for that. Pikeville in the valley. See, this is from Carrie. 1/4 to a 1/2 inch. Still snowing pretty good. There you go. Good report, Carrie. Ah, Brandon, I see. Thank you for clarifying. Thank you, Sarah. Let's keep going. Take a tour around. You can see all that. Some light to moderate snow showers. We're now just after 3 o'clock on the Saturday morning. Again, our crews will be out about. Good Morning Chattanooga comes on at 6 a.m. and again at 8 a.m. And Bill Race will be here. He'll take you through the morning. Talk about all these snow showers. Second kind of snowy Saturday morning in a row. Starting to get used to this, right? So Blake says he lives on 25th Street, Cleveland, and grass and roads have a little snow on them. Yep, for sure. With temps this cold and every flake accumulating. Wayne, road conditions north and west of Cleveland, Georgetown, Birchwood. I'd be careful on secondary. I think a lot of primary roads have been treated, but it just depends on how much more snow you get versus how long that treatment can last with temperatures falling. Treatment can raise the temperature, the freezing level temperature, but as more as it drops, it kind of loses its effectiveness a little bit. But I would be very careful traveling. Nada says still snowing in Soddy Daisy. Question to see Flowery Branch, Georgia. You know, that area, Flowery Branch, up 85, northeast of Atlanta suburbs could get several inches. It's possible because those bands are going to set up east and northeast of downtown Atlanta. Could yield a couple inches of snow. And a lot of that will start falling later this morning. So, and you're being south of Lake Lanier also. So that's an area to watch where you could get a couple of inches there near Flowery Branch. Hello, Tina. Watching from Cleveland. You can see this kind of snow band kind of ending. It doesn't end quickly. Just Tormont Eagle. So it lasts about an hour and a half or so. So watch as it moves on through. So it's just real light stuff, but folks, I can't stress this enough. It's just a wee little bit of snow when it's this cold can make things awfully slick for travel. Jackson says, just started snowing decent in Red Bank. I like that word, decent snowfall. Daryl asks, do you think February is going to warm up any? Based on some of the longer range stuff we're seeing for the next 2 to 3 weeks, it'll warm up a little bit this upcoming week to start February, but there could be another Arctic shock coming in within the first 2 weeks, possible. So I see us coming back up from this weekend's Arctic blast, but I don't see it being the last yet, based on some of the trends I'm seeing. So February could still be a colder than average month. So, but hey, if you want spring to get here, at least Saturday's the final day of January. Making progress. But it's going to be a long, cold weekend now. Blake in Gatlinburg, depends on elevation. The higher terrain of the Smoky Mountains is sort of in that 6 to 12 inch range. I think Gatlinburg itself is in the 4 to 6. Gatlinburg City in that range, 2 to 4 around Knoxville. Ty, it's very possible in Cleveland, and again, it all depends on where some of those snow bands set up. Will it overperform? It's possible. Cleveland's in sort of that 1 to 2 potential, but I've got it in that 1 to 3 swath to make up for that reason that it could reach the high end of that. It's possible where some of these bands show up, and it'll be, within the county, you could have little areas that are just different where those bands set up. So it is possible. It is possible. And we're at this point now where we have to watch this evolve. Instead of forecasting, it becomes nowcasting. You watch the rates, see how long it's going to last with any additional coming in. So it makes it a bit trickier as these start to evolve. Jake says snowing steady in Lakeside. Linda says nothing in East Ridge. You should be seeing at least some flakes flying there in East Ridge. May not be accumulating because it is real light. Depends on where you are. Let me check the temperatures again. I want to take a look at that Rome temperature. I think it updated every hour because I think everybody now is below freezing. And no, Rome's still holding on to 34. That's at least at the airport there in Rome. If you have a thermometer in and around Rome, there at Floyd County and southern parts of Chattooga, you're probably colder. Okay. And there's our wind chill currently. Let's see. Brenda says very light snow and rising Fawn, South Dade. And again, just to go over our headlines for the next several hours is when we have all this combination of the Arctic air coming in and the snow showers. Just to remind you again, it's going to be snow showers happening, and then the wind picks up over the next few hours. So I mentioned the term blowing snow. There's going to be some blowing snow in areas and reduced visibility. We're already seeing this now with slippery travel conditions on untreated roadways. Generally speaking, the higher totals will be east compared to west, but everybody could get some accumulation out of this. And as I've been repeatedly saying, if you get a trace or if you get 2 inches of snow, even a trace can make it very slippery for travel. Those gusts will really start picking up. You'll notice it. You'll hear it outside, 30 to 35 at times, pushing those wind chills to dangerous levels. After sunrise, we're looking at wind chills single digits to below 0. So protect yourself, bring your pets inside, and wrap those pipes, leave a drip. This is pipe bursting type weather. Let's see, Brandon, 22 at your house in Cleveland, not snowing yet. Hopefully you'll get some pretty soon. It's not far from you there, Brandon. Hopefully you'll get those flakes. And your snow dome can be lifted. Yes, Blake, that's correct. Whatever accumulates from this won't go anywhere for a while. So, yeah, the sun will do some work on it tomorrow. Well, Sunday, but in many areas it may get above freezing. So we could still have traffic issues through Monday morning. Yes, even with just a little bit. So Loretta says nothing in downtown Dunlap. All right. Yeah, it just really depends with all these bands. Uh, Sofa asking, will the storm circle back around? Yes. Once that low intensifies to our east, it'll pull that band back around, but our viewing area sits on the fringe of all that. So areas west of the city less, east of the city a bit more, and those bands will be north-south. But yeah, could the low push back west a little bit more? Yeah. I mean, we have to watch see if that happens. If that happens, and you get more accumulation in more areas. But if it starts pulling back in and pulling that away to the east rather quickly, like we think it's going to do, then it'll limit the time around the city, and then more time east before it moves on away. So it's going to be some anxious hours here, especially that we'll know from sunrise to noon how quickly it moves or retreats west to east. And you can see some pretty good, moderate snow coming down west of the city. And you see these bands, like you go on either side of the band, light, within the band, strong, and it's lining up with the upper level wind flow. So that extra forcing expands it a bit. So this is what I'm talking about, how you drove straight across Marion County, light, 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 moderate, light, and it can end up affecting accumulation and affecting travel just like that. So it's not a uniform area of snow as these bands, and that's going to be real tricky watching the accumulation rates, especially east of the city, as it starts pulling more that direction. Spencer says snowing in East Ridge, but no accumulation yet. Thank you, Spencer. At least getting some light snow all the way down to South Walker County, most of Catoosa County getting some light snow, Ringgold, over to Boynton, up to East Brainerd, Ottawa, Snow Hill, appropriately named tonight, over to Cleveland. And I know some people who just love snow, just love to see the snow come down, so for sure. But my concern here is everybody just being safe because of the temperatures at the moment. You see, again, as we've been talking about over the past hour, watch this slowly evolve. See these bands starting to pull more to the south. It's all in response to that low. Everything's starting to kind of pull this way. Can't really see those arrows too well, but you can kind of get the idea. I like that. So you'll see a little bit as this happens over the next couple of hours, more coverage starts showing up in these areas. Spencer, what about those rates in those bands west of the city? It's hard to say because I've been looking at some of the TDOT cameras are there, and it hasn't shown a lot. So it could probably a little burst there would give a good ground covering, a quarter, half inch pretty quickly. But I think that would guesstimate what's in those heavier bands there. Because overall, these bands are kind of light compared to these bands up here that are really heavy through Sevierville, Knoxville, and into the Smoky Mountains. So that's where it's really heavy. Our bands are kind of just some pockets of where it's more. We see the white is just really light. But as I've said, even flurries coming down, everything's going to stick. Kevin says light snow in Calhoun. So even there, even on radar not showing up, a lot of that is already blowing the wind down towards the south down 75. Ryan, as far as travel, it's going to depend where you're going. A lot of these primary roads have been treated, but most secondary roads have not. And you got to keep in mind your driveway, if it's not treated like mine isn't, it could be slippery. And any untreated roads can be slippery also because every little bit of this that falls, even with it being just light, is going to cause a problem. Even just a trace amount of snow is going to cause slick travel. So wherever you're going or plan to go, use caution or just don't go. Okay. See, Brenda says getting some snow showers in Dalton close to the high school. Yep. Appreciate that report from Whitfield County. So again, I'll show you one more time. This is what's happening now. And let me just show you again what's going to happen over the next few hours. We're going to see these snow showers continue. And this is just a model estimate, okay? So, yeah, here we go. So we're going to see from 5:30 to 7:30, still these bands pretty much showing up. This is about 8:30. Notice there's less west, more east. And then as you go toward midday, notice there's even less west, and it's starting to pull away to the east more. And then to the afternoon, sort of breaking up a bit. But because of the longer duration east, that's where those amounts could last a little longer. Hit more of that high end of that 1 to 3 swath for those areas right along east of I-75. And you get to the mountains there, you get into higher elevations of Murray, say Fort Mountain, and then into Gilmer, Fannin, Cherokee County, North Carolina, you're kind of getting that 3 to 5 depending on elevation. So higher amounts farther east. So that's how it looks. And again, I think as we go through later Saturday night, parts of the plateau will have flurries just ongoing and some light snow showers. So they could have adding a little bit more to accumulation as the night goes on Saturday night and finally moving out. Because when this cold air comes in, I mentioned this before, it's wringing out every bit of moisture. So flurries will, like this, heavier snow showers will kind of break up, but the lingering flurries will just always be there for hours afterward. Not adding too much to accumulation, but just being there. You're saying, hey, well, here comes the snow again. You know. So there you go. So that's as of 3:15. All right, folks, we're going to break away from this live stream for now. Just wanted to get you caught up on what's happening out there and what to expect. And I think the coverage of snow showers picks up even more over the next few hours. And especially the first half of the day, Saturday, we're going to have to be dealing with this and dealing with tricky travel. And all the while, temperatures go down and wind speeds go up and the wind chill goes down. So try to limit your time outside. Take care of yourself. Bring your pets inside. And stay warm as best you can. I'm going to be here. Bill Race, meteorologist Bill Race, is going to be here. He'll have another live stream if necessary before Good Morning Chattanooga starts at 6 a.m. We got our team in the field. We'll have visuals from all across, along with all the traffic cams to show what's happening out there. Same thing again at 8 o'clock. So we got you covered throughout the morning and on the live stream. All right. Stay safe, everybody. Stay warm, and we'll keep you updated. Have a great night. Thanks for watching and staying up late. Take care. Stay warm.